Good morning. Well, Manduro 2020 is over. It's done. We can't get it back. We can't try it again. We got to wait till 2021. So that's really depressing. Because this year, I had high expectations for me. I have friends that do the race, but I wasn't going specifically with friends to ride with friends in this race. So it was just going to be solo. And when I did that, I did even worse. So that's depressing. But whatever. So it was so hot. Heat index was like 107 or greater. It was terrible. It was so hot. And then riding on that concrete, it just kept reflecting the heat back. Sweated through the sunscreen. Just burned through my water. I had to stop at a gas station probably after the third stop to fill up on water because it was so brutally hot. But I was with the lead group and I was with the actual two winners, Alex and Lars. So shout out to you guys. You guys are a completely different breed. I've never ridden with them like that, but they are just Mamba mentality, head down, no time for jokes, no time for doing anything, just head down, weaving in and out of traffic. That was an impressive run. They did 260 miles or something in like 30 hours, finding all the stops, doing all the challenges. So shout out to you guys. You guys are the winners, and you guys are amazing. So I only made it probably 60 miles in. Because the heat index was so brutal, my body kept rejecting all the food I put in it. So I kept having to stop on the side of the road and get sick. So that wasn't fun at all. And usually if you get sick one time and then you feel better, you know, it's like, oh, okay, now I can keep going. But if you ever get sick and then keep getting sick and you don't start to feel better, that's when you know something a little more serious is happening. I don't know if it's dehydration, but you are getting dehydrated because you're getting sick, but your body's just not absorbing anything. So that might be time to call it. And that's what I felt like I had to do. I mean, nothing to it. I kept getting sick. It was so hot. I couldn't perform, which is fine. I don't want to just damage my body like crazy. So I didn't win any money. No one won any money from this. So there's really no reason to push yourself past that limits for your health. So that's why I decided to pull out after about 60 miles. I was probably like the second or third person to pull out. I mean, it was brutal. I was very disappointed, but once again, I couldn't do anything about it. It was my body. My legs felt great. It was my stomach, so I have a vendetta against my stomach. I want to give you guys a rundown of my bike and the setup that I have for Manduro. I think it was a great setup. I watched a bunch of videos about Dirty Kansas XL and I watched how all the racers set up their bikes. And I kind of mimicked what they did. And this is going to be the same setup that I used for next year's Manduro because it was fantastic. So let's get into
Hey everybody! So if you followed my channel, you know that this is my 2017 Fuji Jari 1.5. It is a gravel bike. I love this bike, but this is what I rode for Manduro and just about every other race that I've participated in. So first off, I want to talk about the components of the bike. This is electrical tape. The hood ripped and the hoods didn't get here before Manduro, so it is taped on. But the bars, they are flare. It is the Sram Rival 1x11 crank set, and I use the Crank Brother pedals. They are the Candy ones, and the reason why I ride those is because they are budget friendly, they're lightweight, and also they have a big enough platform that if you miss the clip in when you start for a crit race or just any type of race, you can still get your foot on it to push through and follow through. But yeah, so it's the Sram Rival 1x11, and yeah, that's pretty much the basic components of the bike. But now these are the components that I've added for Manduro. I am using the Garmin Edge 820. Besides the fact that Garmin just got hacked, this is a pretty good smart computer, but it might be time to switch to Wahoo's. But these these are the Aerobars that I use for Manduro, and it's just 2 bolts that go in around the bars. This is honestly the first time I've ever used Aerobars. They're pretty nice. They were $20, and I think they came from a drop shipping company on Amazon, but for $20 you really can't go wrong. The only weird thing is that when I had sunscreen on, this pad just kind of made me slide off a little bit, so I had to critique how I had my arms on it. But this really saved my back, my wrist, and my hands from all the like rattling and everything from riding. So if you have a long race, probably over 75 miles, I would suggest getting some Aerobars. And for 20 bucks, you really can't go wrong. So for all the pieces, I will put the link in the description below so you can get these on Amazon if you want. The next piece is the Revelate Design Feedbag. So thank you to Jason for letting me use this. This was easily accessible for Manduro, and it had all my charging blocks in it for my phone and Garmin, because I was expecting to be out there for 24 to 36 hours. I only made it 5 hours, but you know, what can you do? I was expecting to be out there longer. So everything on the bike, I wanted to be easily accessible. And then right here, I had my headlamp, another charging block, sunscreen, Allen wrench, and for all you asthma freaks out there, the inhaler too. Cycling does make your lungs better, but our lungs are still trash, so I feel for you guys if you have asthma. And this is the Northseven top tube bag. And this was actually pretty cheap too on Amazon, so this was fantastic as well. And this is another Northseven bag. This bag is waterproof, and I had all my food in here, but also I had my Bionic Gloves. These gloves, if you're getting into cycling, are fantastic because they have so much cushion and padding that you won't kill your wrist or your palms when you first start out. But also I had some drink mixes in here, the charging cables, and the clear lenses for my Oakleys. When you make it to nighttime, you need those. Also, because it's such a long race, you might need some dude wipes. Who knows what those are for? I don't know. But also, one thing I thought about that if anything goes wrong is a pair of cleats. I got the Crank Brother cleats. You can't really see them because the bag, they had a bunch of dirt on them. But I had a backup pair of cleats just in case anything were to go wrong with mine. I didn't want to be stuck just pedaling without a cleat. So those bags are my easily accessible. While I'm riding, I can just bend down and grab those and use whatever out of those bags. But this bag, I'm not going to get the stuff out of it. It's the Bontrager Saddlebag. It has my brake light, but it has 2 tubes. It has CO2 tire levers. This is the bag that I only get to if I really have to stop and then fix a flat or anything. So don't need to get to while I'm riding, need to get to while I'm riding. And these work. This is probably going to be the setup that I use for 2021 Manduro. And lastly, I want to give a huge shout out to Chris. I want to say thank you for sending me the giant side exit cages. These are fantastic with the bag up here. When I was using the other cages that I had and a full bottle, it was so hard to get the bottles out because this bag was full and it really put a lot of pressure on these. But with these, they can just come right out on the side, and this is perfect. So thank you, Chris, for sending these. I'm sorry I didn't get to use them in the race, but next race and any time I ride, I will be using these. So thank you, Chris. So yeah, thanks for checking out the bike. If you see anything that I should have added or changed, please leave a comment below. But yeah, cheers. Thanks for watching.
Cut.